Why, hello there, fellow colony builders. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Going Medieval Tower of Knowledge. Episode 8, Building a Stilted Stockroom. Let's just hope we don't end up like a sinking city. There's a lot of cities that have like pylon-style structures and they sink into the ground. Okay, Day Sleeper's already doing the corpses. Ramno's making a new kiln. And then some of the backlog, I think, is a result of just physically hauling clay. Yes, the clay stockpile is like physically empty. And once Klein has recovered, which... Okay, you only have a concussion now, so... Out of bed. Ooh, sheep. Red Rover, Red Dover. Cool. I'm not entirely sure I want to commit myself, especially given the like square footage of our island, to having a lot of animals. So I'll take the sheep in for now, but like no promises that I'm going to keep a lot of animals in the long run because I'm just not interested in it. All the same, I'll raffle this one off. One thing I have not gotten back to, mostly because of all the construction tasks, is I haven't gotten back to research. One of the reasons to like hold off on research is if there's not research projects that we urgently need. Like one could make the argument that yeah, we could probably use a reinforced door. But if we don't immediately need research, the books themselves are kind of valuable and will drive up colony value, and in driving up colony value, it does put us at risk to making ourselves a target. What I will say about that, though, is we might... I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get at least enough to get tailoring, because there's a lot of clothing that is, like, taking up room that could be broken down, and there's... so we might as well endeavor to break that stuff down. So, let's make until 20 books. And then go back to jobs, and Red Mist will research before construction. Because that's also going to help with the like backlog of trash that's out here. I understand that you guys want the stockroom so that I can actually put stuff away. But a lot of this stuff is, I'm not going to ever keep it. And breaking it down to its constituent parts and then reforging it into something better is probably the way to go in the long run. Hey, Sidebar! How's it going, man? How's the other side of the pond? You were playing... I don't know what you were playing. Software and game development? Is that true? Or was it just an umbrella catch-all for something else? And welcome. Welcome to you and your raiders. Pleasure to have you here. You're intrigued by this game? Yeah, it's a pretty good colony builder. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but a 3D colony builder, set in medieval times with, you know, pretty similar to RimWorld game mechanics. A lot of people will make the comparison to RimWorld, and obviously it's not as feature-rich as RimWorld. It hasn't been around for, you know, 14 years or whatever, and has lower graphics to allow for more game mechanics. But with that said, it is a lot of fun. All right, how many books do we have so far? 11 of 20? Okay, so we're on our way. It is just about autumn. As you can see, it's been 23 days since the start, so we've almost survived half a year. Half a year being 24. This is the final day of summer, and this is when we really should consider... I'm not too worried, given the availability of, like, fish and all the food that we already stocked up. But this is when, if you're playing for yourself, you have to really think, oh, man, if you don't have enough food at this point, the start of autumn, you should really consider, you know, focusing on that. Because a lack of food starting in autumn could mean just no one survives. And according to the growing season for my zone, we can grow up to autumn 7. So any seeds that are not going to mature in the next week are seeds that might survive, but we might also want to harvest them early. You saw 1.0 was out, you only heard good things. I think there's a lot of, so there's some like stability and some late game, large colony sort of like logistics stuff that people complain about. In terms of the reviews for Going Medieval. I myself don't have complaints for its 1.0 release, but I know that the recent reviews don't reflect that necessarily. It's like 79% recent positive reviews, and I think a lot of that is just like, hey, they didn't add this extra feature, X, Y, or Z feature, and people feel like it's feature incomplete. But it's a pretty complete game, as far as I am concerned. Air Dog, you are baby sheep. And our little animal plan's getting pretty full. So these pillar stilts went up faster than I thought. I knew there was going to be a lot of clay bricks, but we are managing to source them pretty good. Cicerone seems to be still... So is... Why are you... What is going on here? You're hauling... Oh, you're hauling clay. I'm trying to figure out why... Why is Day Sleeper walking so slow? Cicerone's hauling a dead body, so that makes sense. I think one, like, ran off and died far away. But as far as I know, there's only one corpse left to be dealt with. That's good. No one likes to dig? No, we definitely have a lot of colonists moving the clay back to the island. I can see that. That's good. All right, research. We only hit the 15 mark. We need 20 for tailoring, so I'm just going to keep saving up. And then once I hit the 20 for tailoring, I might put a pause on research again, because there's nothing that I would consider urgent that we hadn't yet uncovered. And then because we were out of clay, I decided to just expand the island a little bit more. The dirt out to our stockroom. Because why not? You know, our constructors were going to be idle otherwise, or working on, like, lesser important stuff. Can fish run out? Yeah. I mean, each site is finite, and then they will regenerate over time. I think, of course, if you, like, landfill all the water, you will run out. But the game is pretty generous about how much fish it will actually offer you. Oh, I put clay walls. Oops. I really thought that was dirt. And I was wondering, hey, why does it look weird? Okay, now I know why. I totally built the wrong thing. Good job, me. Time to undo all that work. Red Mist is probably like, yo, what? Yep, that was me. You're welcome. Alright, 19 out of 20 Chronicles. Back of the stairs look good. Yeah, once it gets built. And Raven Bear, thank you for the gifted subs. Come on, Red Mist. Just a little bit more science in there. We're gonna spy on you. That's funny. The, like, visibility layer doesn't have... It's occluding, even though I was, like, peeking into it. Red Mist was like, hey, you spying on me? Yeah, I was. I saw you. I saw you partially working. Just imagining a keyboard or something in front of you. Alright, jobs. Red Mist. I'm not gonna necessarily stop doing Chronicles, but I'm gonna prioritize construction instead. A watch scientist doesn't science? Seems so. Alright, let's try this again. Soil. Yes. Soil. Look, Ma, I did it. I soiled myself. Yeah, maybe I'll have to pick a different phrase. There we go. That looks right. I was like, what's the weird clay wall? Oh, yeah, that was me. So most of the pillars are already built, and then it's just a matter of getting the floor down. It would obviously go a lot faster if we used a weaker material like wood, because it would not be hard to source that. But the reason I didn't is the fear of fire, because fire control is obviously going to be a concern if we don't consider it now. We, speaking of wood, are also a little low. So this is a filtered, mature-only cut, and I'm just going to get way more wood than we have reason to use at the moment. So I can set and forget for a while. And our cabbages are doing good. We have got a lot of cabbages. We still have a pile of 101 dirt. Game's like, erp. Alright, the other part of the soil that I think is also going to be equally important is this part that's like right at our entryway, because I could have a more dedicated gatehouse if I had the soil to build it. So that's a lot of landfill, but that should keep him busy for a while. Oh, okay. You really, really want a sheep named Dover. You know what, game? No. I won't slaughter you. I guess... Hey, Air Dog. Yeah, this is totally just the Air Dog that we've always known. Where's the other Air Dog? In fact, hold on. Management. Overview, or yeah. We've got 2 mature goats, male and female. We've got cattle, and then a bunch of sheep. Most of the sheep are male. Sir Thunder, you're gonna get killed. And then the youngest one is gonna be named Sir Thunder. And that should buy me some time, because the other male sheep are not of breeding age. And that will stop the perpetual animal born for a while. Because I really don't have a pen. I don't have any animal handlers. I don't want to handle animals myself. So we'll just get room. It is officially autumn. Do I have anyone with the... Okay, Ciceron is an animal handler at very high efficiency. Or priority, I should say. So it will get done. You know what I just realized? Is this staircase is not centered. I'm sure it will drive people crazy. Because technically this is the center line, and this is like off-centered. Mwahaha! Everyone who owes OCD is now my... Never mind, I won't say it. With that said, well, I mean, this staircase is kind of permanent, so no, it's not going to get changed or moved. Now you can't watch the rest? Good. Did I queue up too many tree cut? Probably. I'm going to back off of the go cut down the entire forest. Why would I point it out? You know, your mental anguish is my pleasure. I think I just said the quiet part out loud, but no, for real, I didn't even notice until just now. But I also don't really care either. Too much effort to correct. Yeah, I could just shift the entire island over a tile. Well, the thing is, the bridge that I have built out here is obviously not a permanent one. It's like a wooden crummy bridge. But shifting all the subterranean structures over a tile wouldn't make a whole lot of sense either. Alright, so here is the sewing station, and that should... Do we have anyone with a high sewing job? Yes, Ciceron as well. Man, Ciceron, every time I check, Ciceron's just like the person that has to do the work. What we're going to do is anything that is flimsy or sturdy, the lowest two priorities, gets broken down. And then eventually we're going to want to start making winter clothing now that it is autumn, using whether leather and wool that we have available to us to get stuff that will insulate. Do I have a designated fuel source for this stuff? No, I don't. Okay. Stone's a building material. Have you collected any yet? So, on the different map types, if I was on like mountain map tile, the majority of the ground would be like stone. The thing is, for this map tile, yes, there's like a little bit of limestone, but there's certainly not enough of it to even bother making into a construction material because excavating it would be quite the undertaking. So I'd have to travel like all the way over here and dig it up. I mean, it's rather pointless, and I might as well just like not do that because that's just, you know, clay bricks with many extra steps for not a lot of extra security. There we go. Look at that. And now Ciceron is getting rid of some of the junk clothing. And that will open up the opportunity to actually make some nice stuff. Getting rid of her old junk stuff. What are you producing? Oh, you're producing clay bricks. How about you just... That's the other issue, is I like don't want them to do so many... I want them to get like an entire load of clay bricks, not just like an arm load for one clay brick run. It's like, just finish the thing, but whatever. One thing that this build doesn't have, which is a resource zoning limit. Like in RimWorld, you can say, hey, don't grab resources beyond like 25 range, and that way they aren't doing piecemeal clay bricks, but yeah, as far as I know, that's not something that you can do here. So we're just sort of stuck the way it is, but yeah, it's okay. So the expensive part of this building, and it's entirely possible to also plan this building to have the second floor be the craft room or some other rooms, right? It doesn't need to be a one-story building, and it might even be in my benefit for it not to be, because, you know, the columns was kind of the expensive part. So within this building, I think what I'm planning on doing is having a clay brick floor as a ceiling to seal it up as a room. And then to put another staircase like here that can lead up to other things. So it'll be a stockroom with stuff above it. Probably a crafting room because those two go more or less hand in hand. But that will be the plan. Looks like I need dirt. The only reason I did this is I wanted to use up all the dirt I had. I wasn't trying to excavate. Basically, if you're new to the channel especially, I work on what the current priority says up there, unless there's something even more urgent, and like filling this in is not urgent, so it just doesn't take a priority. It takes a backseat. So once the floor is in, I'll put the walls in, and then the ceiling in, and then we'll start to move all of our non-perishables into this room as a catch-all for storage. So I have 300 wood cut out here. I've got only 5 in stockpile, so I'm going to hit urgently haul for this stuff. Urgent haul, I'll raise to a 2 priority for everybody. So that when I have some hauling urgencies, we can actually, like, do it. Because they're not at the moment. Looks like a lot of people are making friends. That's good. I like to see that. Ciceron's getting even better at cooking. So we don't have to eat slop forever. Now there is a fancier floor tile. If at some point we want, you know, even fancier floors, there's like decorative tiles here, which you would really want to incorporate in the rooms where the beauty matters. Oops, I didn't mean to. Okay, we now need, let me forbid all that, and then allow this. Now we need a little bit of dirt for real, because I ruined that. Good job, me. So let's just continue digging out this like hallway and use the dirt for that. Ooh, but look at that. It's good. Alright, continuing the clay brick. There's really no need for windows in the stockroom, so I'm not going to bother putting them in. And then I'll have like arches for the roof stability. So I think if I build this correctly with the arches, that will, you know what? It won't hold up here though. There we go. 2 columns right there. And the reason the rest of the floor can't go in at the moment is just because the arches and the columns aren't built yet. Which is why it looks funky. Alright, it might be time, given the scope of all the clay using projects, to also, once he's done digging out the hallways, dig up some more clay. Be cool if there was like a filter for like only do clay, the same way that trees have a filter. It's having to like paint by numbers for a resource. Because in RimWorld, like, you know, if you find steel, you can just like double click it and queue all the steel that's visible, or say, hey, mine out the entire vein. There's a bunch of different ways to sort of like simplify a task that could be made simple, but not here. That's okay. Room for improvements. Maybe room for mods. There we go. So that's a lot of clay to be dug. We did get that, like, missing, I can fix the bridge now. That's my fault. I hadn't realized the soil hadn't been replaced underneath. And we are up to 500 cabbage. So we're going to have some pretty stinky colonists come wintertime. Stink of cabbage. Yeah, you can see it all on the shelves here. Good news is the shelves are not at capacity. There's still plenty of room. And then certainly we can build other shelves in the future. Shelves specifically for like saplings and seeds. You know, because this is a kitchen or a stockroom for the kitchen. But if we could always build another stockroom elsewhere for things that aren't edible. What about a door to the stockroom? Oh, you know, yeah, the door. I see what you're saying. You meant the other stockroom. Yeah, it would help if I had a door. For now, I'll just put a wooden door in. I don't care about the stability or their durability of it. It's not a big factor. So, Klein. Yes, you are. Okay, cool. The question that I didn't fully ask was, are you actually digging up clay? And he is. Time to rip that up too. There's a lot of resources that we could use, and we might as well just get it. Now, we're still on autumn day 2. It's like 48 Fahrenheit out, which is cold, but not freezing cold. We are going to need to consider what people are wearing. So, like, Cicerone has, like, flimsy... A lot of her clothing is, like, well on its way out. So, knowing that, let's go ahead and queue up a winter clothes queue. Do until we have, let's say, 2 spare pieces of clothing. Make it out of... anything? I'll try to make it out of stuff that isn't linen. Linen is going to be better for summer clothing. And then, slowly cycle through our colonists and get them warmer clothing. Oh, a bigger! Roderick Oldham. Were you nicknamed by the cannibals? Were you just so old they didn't want to eat you? Oh, you're 25 years old? So you were so rotten looking they didn't want to eat you? I'm gonna go with yes. Cheers. All right. Our best speechcraft, is that still... Oh no, that changed. Day Sleeper is lower skill, but has a passion, so... Day Sleeper, you'll talk to the beggar. Like how he just helps himself to our like food seller. He's like, oh yeah, wait, what the heck? No, what? I told Day Sleeper to go talk to the beggar, and he's like, I saw him. Can't interact while they're leaving? What? You just got here. What do you mean you're leaving? You don't look leaving to me, dude. You look like you're vibing like a I Am Legend vampire in my food cellar. Okay, cool. Yeah, no one can talk to you. That's nice. Yeah, I'm a beggar. You're not vampire zombies. I don't know, whatever they were. He's wobbling. I like how it says he's leaving. Doubt. You don't look leaving to me, bud. You just got here. Okay, whatever. Try again. It's not gonna work. Okay. He's, stuck? Hope he doesn't starve to death. It's, at the moment, not my problem. But it might become my problem if I leave it for too long. So I suppose we'll see if this is something I'm gonna have to deal with. Seems to be a funny problem to have. Alright, so Klein, you are digging out those hallways, and then you'll go and get more clay. So clay is really the bottleneck right now. As we wait to acquire more for the tiles. Now, the good news is it seems to me like most of the garbage around the map has been dismantled. We still have a few bows left. And that's likely due to the fact that I just don't have a... Radlock is not... carpentering over... construction, so I changed the priorities a little bit to allow for that. Well, most of the junk is now dealt with. Oh, and Klein is back to digging out the clay. So we've got this, like, the circle-shaped hallway to be able to get access to more building space in our cellar area. And I'll put tiles down there. I don't suspect that they'll be built anytime soon because we have a high demand and usage for clay, but we'll get there. I'm not sure how much of the sewing station Ciceron has actually made for clothing-wise. Let me check the other people if they have any fresh clothing. So no. No. I don't think... I think this will be the first piece. If I'm not mistaken. Yep, this will be the first piece, because no one has anything. Nice. Now, the only issue that we have here is she just made something flimsy. And if I'm automatically dismantling flimsy, it does mean that she'll, like, craft something and then immediately destroy it. So what I'll do, at least for now, is to pause the dismantle queue. So it doesn't just get ripped up. Because it's better to have flimsy than none. None would be hypothermia come winter. So I'll settle for flimsy, it's okay. Yep, he's still doing his thing. I see that he has sleep and food stats, so we'll see what ends up happening. 'Tis an experiment. Let's see if he ends up just like chilling in my cellar till he dies. I am surprised that changing the work priority of Bradlock for highest passion carpentry, that it hasn't worked for dismantle from wood, because we definitely have some stuff worth dismantling, but haven't gotten around to it. Oh, no, you're doing it. You're just... Oh, I see, I see. You're getting that stuff first. That's fine. Finally get rid of that, the initial barn. Because as I stated, I didn't want to have to use... I didn't plan on using any of the mainland by design. So breaking that down will be a way to keep people from suggesting, oh, just build something there. It's like, I don't want to. So, Sakura, last stream, the animal got stuck in the cellar because animals that aren't like cats and dogs can't go through doors normally. Right? These types of doors, some domesticated animals go through it, like cats and dogs, but others don't. So the animal was in our cellar, not because it was actually stuck, but because it hadn't just been roped and corralled into the animal pen. Which is fundamentally different than Roderick vibing in my cellar. Is in Roderick's case, he is broken. He like showed up. I should have been able to interact with him, and the game was like, no, you can't talk to him. He's leaving. And then the game was like, oh, but when we meant leaving, we meant leaving this mortal plane. You'll be cremating his body once he starves to death. Kind of reminds me of like the tea monk mummification, where like Buddhist monks will like mummify themselves while they're still alive. By like eating ground up tea leaves or whatever. Just, it's like, okay, I guess if you really want to leave a pretty corpse, sure. Can I try to leave the door open? Sure, I guess. I can steward that. Because maybe he like waltzed in. Well, he wasn't welcome. I'm not gonna, try to fix it more than that, because what happens to a random beggar who decides to lock himself in my cellar, I don't really care about. Alright, Stockroom's walls almost fully built. Ah! And, Klein, you're actually digging? Cool. I feel like this is the movie Holes. It's like Klein's that poor boy sent to hole digging camp. Because the clay deposits are obviously not, like, full, you know, they're just, like, piecemeal here and there. Vlad and Blossom. Okay. So, yeah, here's the door, wide open. Roderick cannot move. He's still broken as he ever was. And I cannot interact with him. So I will not be attempting any further interaction with him until he's dead. Goats. So we have Vlad and Blossom, male and female. Vlad, you are now... Destroy with Roy. Yeah, don't worry. You might have the same name as your father, but that doesn't mean anything. Just ignore this checkbox. This checkbox means nothing. And then Terminal Serenity is going to be the other one. Yep, just pay no attention to your parents. Alright, that really shouldn't be, like, left there. Who's got clothing that's about to fall off them? 10? Okay, yeah, that's good. Oh, Raveno's already wearing it. Wait, no you weren't. What the heck? You touched the clothing and you're like, okay. Dibs. This is the art of dibs. No, it isn't. No, you can't just, like, grab the clothing and claim that it's your own. What is he doing now? And can someone steward this door? Because, like, the whole forcing the door open kind of low-key sucks for my food cellar in the long run. No, I didn't mean to deconstruct it. Yeah, he's outside. Doesn't mean he's leaving. It just means he's, wandering. I like how his food is -6. I think we have a vampire. If this was Dwarf Fortress, it'd be like, yeah, he hasn't passed the, like, vampire vibe test. You know, because in Dwarf Fortress, you can figure out the vampires by those that do not need to eat or drink and stay alive. You can lock them in a cell and just be like, well, yeah, if they, like, are dying, then they're not a vampire. It's kind of like, you know, burning or drowning a witch. It's like, well, if she drowned, she was innocent. Oh, and they always drown? Well, I guess we're just doing our due diligence. No, that is not doing due diligence, but sure. Thank you for tuning in to Going Medieval Tower of Knowledge, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow colonists.